So, what I'm doing is okay. It's not very detailed or complex. I'm gonna be honest. I know I can do a lot bigger scale stuff. But I just didn't. I'm not. I didn't feel like it. What I wanted to do is so this is a game I play called League of Legends, and I don't know. I just felt like combining them together with my love for anime, and then sort of like a cosplay or like X kind of thing, you know. So this character X anime. So this will be Akali X Kill la Kill. Honestly, I don't know, I'm kind of embarrassed for liking League of Legends. This is a weird hang up I have. It's just, you know, I don't know. I wouldn't like shit on League of Legends so much because it really does have a toxic community, and I feel like I've done so much like League of Legends artwork, but I kind of cracked the formula for League of Legends art because there's this thing called on Reddit called the mains page. So like this champions page is Akali's champion page, and it's just people who really like the champion or play a lot. And I find with Reddit, if I want more people to see the stuff I do, I gotta share stuff to like smaller communities. And the size of these communities are normally like 1,500 to 3,000 people, so it's just big enough where like it works, you know. Like when I share it, I get like 100, 200 likes, and 200 likes means 200 people looking at the link to my video. So maybe like 20 people click on it. And I haven't even looked at the watch time, but I'm pretty sure my watch time is like 5 seconds, except for that one guy who's like MVP, comments on all my videos and watches them all. Love you, bro. Anyway, so this is the Kill la Kill girl. I forgot her name. I'm gonna be honest, I watched Kill la Kill like years ago and I dropped it. I don't know, I just thought Kill la Kill was too sexual. Like even me at a age of 16, you know, the most horniest boy in the world, I just thought it was too sexy. Not too sexy, too much sexual content. Oh, I made a mistake there. So yeah, I dropped Kill la Kill. And I really love the studio that made Kill la Kill. It's made by Studio Trigger, and the stuff they do is actually amazing. Like, the creativity is off this world, man. I can't even begin to imagine like what goes through the heads of the people who work at Studio. Not the people. I bet most people there are just overworked as fuck. But like that one guy who's in charge of everything, he is so good. I swear to God. So yeah, I was watching this and I thought, okay, the animation is great. The plot, not so much. The world is great. But then, like with Kill la Kill, the power scaling is the sexier you look. Not even sexier. The more nude you are, the more power you have. And then, and I feel like this is just enough. Maybe a little bit more, and then that's like fairly acceptable. And you don't really need to push it in terms of character design. But then you kept pushing it, and then like I just couldn't stand it anymore. I dropped it. It's unfortunate. I really think I would have enjoyed it. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Kill la Kill. It's great. I love Studio Trigger. Can't wait till they make another thing. Like, I'm a really basic guy. I like robots and action. I'm not really asking for more than that. Studio Trigger gives me exactly what I need. And I was talking about Studio Trigger. I'm a basic guy. I like robots and action. And Studio Trigger gives me exactly what I need. Like, Teppen Topa Gurren Lagann is big robots fighting other bigger robots, and I could not give two shits about the story. Just big robots. It looks cool as fuck. Then you got the Gridmans. I've barely watched anime in such a long time, but whenever I see it's made by Studio Trigger, I have to watch it. I don't even care if it's good or not. And I really do think the Gridmans are like good. That's straight up just good. That's my personal opinion. Like I know, like there was that whole meme about that girl who's really pretty, with thighs, and like yeah, I guess. But you know what's more amazing about her? Her voice actor. I love the voice actor for that, and like she just seems so normal. I keep talking about this. Like she's just so normal. I've seen so much anime where it's like they overplay things so much, and then with with Gridman, it's just so normal. I loved it. Yeah. And then, do you guys remember Promare? I actually recommended my friend to watch Promare after I watched it. Like, it is just turn off your brain for a moment and watch this guy in a big robot hit another guy in a big robot. I just love that, bro. I was just thinking, I watched this show on Netflix. It's called Pacific Rim: The Black, and as I've said, I like big robot hit other big robot, and Pacific Rim: The Black just gave me exactly what I needed. So the first time I watched it, I finished it in like one day. I was waiting for the second season, but it took so long to come out, I kind of forgot about it. Then recently the second season came out, and guess what? I finished it in one night. Okay, one night, and I finished the last episode like a day later. But like, god damn, that's crazy, isn't it? I love big robots, and then that's why I really love the first Pacific Rim, the movie. I don't even know why. Like, I've tried watching Gundam, and like, all Gundam's about is politics, and just like not as much big robots hitting other big robots. So I can't really get into Gundam, and it's like, that's just exactly my field. So I've always been looking for more just robots hitting other big robots. Let's get that metallic sheen right there. So this character's name is Akali. She is supposed to be this like, she's actually a stereotypical ninja. I'm a really basic guy, man. I actually am not that into her, like in terms of a character design. What thing I actually really like about this champion is I like her gameplay. That's for more for the people who actually play League. I don't know, she just feels nice. Like, she's this thing called like a hyper carry, and she really is a hyper carry. And whenever I play her, I cannot play her for the life of me. But whenever I play against her, she beats the shit out of me. So I like trying her out. She kind of has this aesthetic where she like step on you, and it's not my kind of vibe. Oh yeah, there's something really interesting that happened recently. So in my last video that I made, I did just like a character designs for another League character, and yeah, I wouldn't say it popped off. I think it did quite well, at least in terms of Reddit, like most liked video for drawing I've done on Reddit. And I asked like, okay guys, which one do you like the most? So it was like 6 designs. I really liked the third one, which is the character from the land of Ionia, which is meant to be like this calm nature place. I kind of did that, and I really like that one. That one's the one I like the most, and the one I like the third most would be this one called from Noxus. Noxus is supposed to be this place of like war and black and red and stuff like that. It's really the I'm gonna step on you kind of vibes. So I thought, okay, that one's fine, it's good enough to publish, but it's not my favorite. Turns out, that's the most popular one. And I was just like, what the fuck? Why is this the most popular one? I don't think it should be. Like, I mean, it's fine. It's good enough. But people really into that stuff? You know, like a girl can step on you, a girl in like full body armor. And then everyone was just saying Noxus, Noxus, Noxus. And I was just so confused. So maybe I'm like, maybe I should start drawing stuff. There's more character who can step on you. But I don't personally like that stuff, so what's the point? Yeah, so what do you guys think? I like cute, if you can obviously tell. Should I just keep going with what I like? Or should I go with the masses and just follow whatever the fuck people want from me? So I'm looking at like concept art of this character, like the character of Akali, and she is just so fucking ripped. You never see someone like that in person, so I don't really know how to do like the lighting for it. It's like, I don't know anybody with this much muscle, so where does all like the shape go? And one thing I realized of doing a lot of art is I hate everything. I hate these shoes. What the fuck is this feet? I hate this coloring. What is this? This is brown into red into I don't know. Why is this red? This is not a proper shape. The skin is so white. Oh my lord. At the same time, I know I make all these mistakes, but I don't want to fix it either because it's technically perfectly fine, you know. So whenever I come back to my old projects, I just die and cringe inside. Like, it's... Everyone else also go through this exact same thought process. I hate this. Be gone. Ta-da! Part 1 done. So what do we have here? Right now we have Evangelion, so Rei, so she's got a white bodysuit, her ex Kaisa, which is this like void creature in League of Legends. And why these two together? Well, it's kind of stupid, but the entire concept of Kaisa is that she's just a pretty girl inside a skin type bodysuit. So, which anime has skin type bodysuits? Your Darling in the Franxx and Evangelion. Not for Evangelion this time, because the Darling in the Franxx designs are not particularly good. I know everyone remembers it for 02, but I'm not the biggest fan of the designs. So this is some weird thing that Rei has on top of her head. Yeah, it's so stupid. The entire champion's like, so like you imagine you're a character designer and you're designing it, but like something. So you want something unique to stand out, and your one defining feature is that you're pretty. It's just not the best, to be honest, but who am I to judge? I'm not a character designer, and I like doing pretty things too. So you're probably wondering, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what the hell is this? Okay, two things. It's kind of blue, because I don't know where I read this, but like, white kind of looks ugly. Like, it looks kind of dirty if you have pure white in isolation. So what I'm doing is I give it a bit of blue hue to trick the mind, and I do think it makes things look less dirty, because I just did pure grey. It's like, how ugly is that compared to this bluish white? And then I decided I'm going to add all the details last, record it, because I think that'd be kind of interesting to look at. Without the details, it's just so boring and like, not gonna lie, kind of ugly. Yeah, the same thing with like the naked female body. I think without any like clothing or something that like make it stand out, it looks really boring, just plain by itself. So even just that little thing there just makes it so much more interesting. Because 14-year-old character, talking about Evangelion, you have to sexualize them. I do not particularly agree with that ideology, by the way, if anyone's wondering. I'm not the biggest fan of over-sexualization. But Japan is a weird place and they do their own things. Honestly, when I watch Evangelion, like everyone hype it up so much. It's like, oh my god, it's the best shit ever. I mean, it was old, so obviously I'm judging it from a different like lens view. I didn't like it so much. But obviously, I watched the first season, the seasons on Netflix, and apparently the movies are much better. But I don't have the motivation to watch the movies anymore, because the first season was not the best. So yeah, my views on Evangelion. It's, I think, just now I also just talked about how I like big robots hitting each other. Evangelion didn't hit the right vibe for me. Yeah, the monsters in Evangelion, I don't know, who the fuck knew what was going on there? It's not like kaiju designs, they're just weird. And I know it's a lot about like Christianity and thoughts and shit. It's not for me. I feel really sad about that because, you know, Evangelion is so big in some parts of the world. Like, everywhere you see that girl in red, because she's like a tsundere. I love tsunderes, by the way. I was going to make a full video about how much I love tsunderes. She just didn't hit the spot that I was looking for, you know? Also, she's like 14, I'm almost 20 now. It's so weird to talk about. But it's anime, and anime, we talk about... Never just set everything up to different standards. It's precisely like this drawing right now, come on. Skin type bodysuit on a 14-year-old. But yeah, I love tsunderes, but she was not really the tsundere for me. She didn't hit the right vibes. You know who hits the right vibes? Girl from Fate. So everything about Evangelion fell flat. And apparently, the best part of Evangelion is actually the movies. I just don't have the time for that. No, I do have the time for that. I just don't have the motivation for that. And it's like 4 movies that came out. And then like, you look at it, it's like, yeah, you have to watch Evangelion Rebirth or like 1.0, and there's like a 4.0 that just came out recently, and like, why not just let it die, my guys? There's another like girl that just showed up. I've not really been keeping up with it. That's kind of fucked up. The character of Rei, I think like she's a clone of like the main character's dad's wife, so essentially the main character's mom. But it's like an improper clone, so she has like no personality and shit. So she just left to like use as a pawn. That's really fucked up, I'll be honest. And I don't know how Japan comes up with this shit. But there's no but, that's just really fucked up. Oh yeah, no, there's a but. So the character I'm drawing is called Kaisa. Her story is that she kind of got like sucked into this void, this place called the Void, full of like monsters and beasts, and like would normally die, but somehow she managed to survive. And now she fights against it, even though it has like corrupted her, turned her into a monster and shit. But then you look at her design, and she's just a pretty girl. It doesn't follow the story at all. Right? This kind of relates to Rei. It's kind of like a dad thing. So in this universe, the dad loves her so much that he jumped into the Void, which is like this all-corrupting world, to try to save his daughter. That's way too thick. So, long sidetrack here. Daddy issues. That's the point of this drawing. Anyway, why I draw these characters so long? Because somewhere or the other I saw some like concept art. Right now. Yeah. Of like lead characters, and in it there's a girl and her legs were just super long. And I know it's not anatomically correct, but I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it looks fine. I'm not actually into girls with like super long legs. Oh yeah, why do I only draw girls? I don't want to be seen as like this sexist guy who only draws girls, but I'm not interested in men in the slightest. Like 0%. I don't think. So I'm not gonna draw a guy because I don't know what to look for in a guy. I see a guy, I think they're all equally as handsome and equally as ugly. It's not like, yeah, I just don't know what the fuck I'm looking for. So then the other options are monsters, which I really do want to do a drawing for. Just waiting for the right hit of inspiration. And scenery, which again, I'm really waiting for the right hit of inspiration. Like I've been trying to do scenery for so long, I just can't do it. And no matter what I try, such a waste. Cause I see some like backgrounds that people draw, and it's just it blows me away, and it makes me feel so like not useless, but I can do more. So for now, you get me drawing girls. I'll be better. Don't worry. Much better it looks with just a little bit of detailing. The naked body is in its by itself. It's not particularly interesting to me. It really isn't. That's why I try not to draw porn, like just pure hentai. It just straight up just doesn't interest me. So what's the point? I can't do anything I'm not interested in. And I know some guy requested that from me, and it's just bugging in the back of my mind. Like I said I would do it. It's like months ago, but I just can't. So I do it. If you're listening to this now, you guys listen to lo-fi? I don't know much about lo-fi, to be honest. At one point I tried to create it, but I just don't get it. Anyway, I'm listening to lo-fi right now. Oh, this is so loud. Anyway, I'm listening to lo-fi right now, and I just don't get it. I remember, like, I'm technically supposed to be working full-time right now as an internship. So when they give me work, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to listen to lo-fi, it's going to be great, I'm just going to like zone out, just get into the work. But all the repetitiveness and all that shit, it's kind of like, it zoned me out, and I just couldn't listen to lo-fi anymore. So now whenever I work, I listen to like actual music. What do you guys listen to when you work? I have a friend who listens to like podcasts and stuff, and I just don't understand it. And he explains it's like, it's just background noise, and when something interesting happens, he looks up and is like, oh shit. That's kind of what I'm trying to do with this. You know, like, this is just a graphic to see on the screen if you want to listen to it or not. Nothing really interesting is going on. And That's really just the whole point of this project that I'm doing. It's just something for you to listen on to. You know the whole thing about like girls being better at guys being better at perspectives and girls not. I think that's absolute bullshit. I know this one girl who's like even better than me at reading GPS maps and shit. I know one is not exactly the best representation of like a sample size, obviously. It's kind of like I have hope. I have hope that there are some girls out there which are just like really good with maps and shit. So I went hiking at one point in time in my life. I went hiking with like 3 girls. Oh, lucky me. Yeah, it's not the best. Anyway, so I went hiking with them and these girls could not navigate to save their life. It was terrible. I mean, one of them was fine. So the goal of the hike is like learning how to navigate. So we had to share the maps and shit. But I was essentially just reading the map for 3 days straight because the girls I was with could not read. Actually, one technically could read a map, but the other 2 were just non-existent. And they were like so proud. These girls are so proud. Like, oh yeah, I can definitely read a map. But they couldn't. And I'm okay if they were like, yeah, I need some help. But instead, it just got us lost. Waste of my time. But I still have hope that girls can read maps because out of 3 girls that I went with, one of them was not too bad. And actually, I had quite a bit of fun just like talking to her, reading the maps together. Nothing really came out of it. But I think she was just like an interesting person, so I was pretty down for that part of the experience, you know? I think some girls are really good at perspective and 3D modeling. And some girls, it's good enough for me. I mean, I bet there's also some guys who are absolutely terrible. I remember I knew this one guy, I still know this one guy, who like, you gave him a map. No, we were driving and he was like, you have to tell me the GPS. I cannot read a GPS. I was like, what the fuck? And no swearing. I was like, what the hell? Like, how hard is it to read a GPS? Like, seriously. But he couldn't, so whenever we drove everywhere, I would have to be like, okay, in 200 meters, turn right. And I don't know, I feel like it's such a basic skill to read a GPS that if you know how to drive, you should be able to read a GPS. It's just something that everyone should know. But can't judge him, maybe he was new. I mean, I'm still quite young. Can't expect everyone to be like amazing at everything too. Some stuff I'm absolutely terrible at, like getting my life together. Some stuff I'm really good at, like reading a GPS. I'm somewhat good at reading a map. That's what makes life interesting, isn't it? That's all that matters. Interesting people doing interesting things. That's what I always tell my cousin. And my cousins are moving on with their life. They're a bit younger than me, so I'm like trying to give them advice. And my advice to them always is just be interesting. It doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you have a story to come out of it. I do not want my cousin to be the guy with the 4 A stars or 11 A stars, or I guess if you're from America, straight A's, but you have nothing to show for it. Just being interesting is more important than being good, at least in my eyes. Like, yeah, the smart kids are there. Maybe they'll make a lot of money, but I would rather talk to a guy who's interesting, who does art, who does sports, who plays the piano or plays an instrument. So just be that kind of person. Now give me life advice. What it is? It's not even a podcast. Yeah, I might go into that in like a later video, but just for the most part, keep in mind, be interesting. Always be interesting. And there's no rush. Like, yeah, I'm not the best at art. I still do it. I don't really care that people out there are much better than me. Do my own thing. My goal is to use my personality to stand out. Because I know my artistic skills isn't there. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. And I'll figure out the rest eventually. That's the whole point. Oh yeah, I'll show you this. So this is what it looks like now. Look at that. That is what details do. Look at that. It's crazy. Anyway. Anyway. So there's another reason why I took on this project. I mean, this specifically one. So this character is called Kaiser. And Kaiser has like a uniquely identifying feature. So I like kind of so. All these champions need something unique about them to identify them in game. So her thing is that she has these two floaty things. Like, I wish I could describe them better, but they're just really just floaty things. Yeah, it's actually, I don't think it's explored what they are in game. She's just like a monster and she has floaty things. So anyway, she has these two floaty things. And Ray's unit, her Evangelion, has two cannons on her shoulder. I thought, hey, that works out really well. I just make the cannons the really two floaty things. I like that concept, like, I read somewhere when you're designing a character, you should be able to draw its silhouette and from the silhouette be able to tell what it is. So, yeah, that's a unique identifying feature. Okay, that's good enough. That's good enough. So I was going to do this as one really long video with 4 separate drawings, but then turns out each individual drawing, the audio I have for it is like 10 minutes long, so it's going to be 40 minutes long, but I'm not going to edit a video which is 40 minutes long. So I'm going to split this into 2 parts, so stay tuned. I think the second part will be coming out tomorrow, or it would already be out, and look forward to it, I guess.